So remember that they're changing my voice, and I'm not gay. So today is April 14th, 2025, and it's a Monday. Due to them playing childish games, I've decided that every hour that they do not resolve this conflict, as a matter of principle, I will raise how much they have to pay me a year by $25,000. At first it was going to be $10,000, but then they did some foul stuff that I shouldn't even mention here, because they like to make fun of Americans and other people who are too cowardly to face them. And they like to use very immature things to try to deter them and try to say, hey, at least that's not happened to you and stuff like this. Very pathetic, very pitiful. It's supposed to be the land of the free and the home of the brave, and they're just clowning them to the extreme and clowning their own families and their offspring, what have you. And then they showed some contempt of judgment, what have you, so I raised it from 10 to 20, then to 25. So, saying 4 hours, they're going to have to pay me more like, I think we're at $650 already, so, okay, we'll call it by 11 o'clock or so, they're going to have to pay me $1,050,000 a year. Okay. And what the consequences are a bit complex, so I'm not going to go over that, but if you've been paying attention, you know what I'm referring to. And obviously it's not some terrorist threat or some has to do with people's eternal punishment, has to do with me being screened out, what have you. So it's important for the timeline to point that out. And also the justification has to do with showing that I'm in charge, and there has to be a punishment for what they're doing, especially trying to make it so I sound gay, so on and so forth. There's been extreme gay harassment recently, and that brought about a series of events that caused me to, make these increased demands. And I don't think they're ever going to pay me because they're not very smart. These are people who don't understand the significance of what's going on. These are people who are greedy. They're clown-like. If you look at the specific types of whites, Jews, and LGBT people involved here, they're like Dahmer. They're narcissistic. They're very immature. They're like computer nerds, frat guys, very, very mature. Everyone knows Freemasons, fraternity guys, very immature. And there's racists, and they're very unreasonable types. They're the most unreasonable types of white Jews and LGBT people who are terrorizing this nation here. And everyone knows it. And it goes beyond just, organized crime or something as such, not the mafia by itself or something. Though there is a Jewish mafia, there are various white mafias and whitish mafias, Armenian, Italian, Albanian, what have you, Russian. But it is these corporate guys, it's so many people, and they're immature. Their types are like as common as jocks and rockers and so on and so forth, but they're more immature than rockers and jocks. Even right now they're fueling me out of sheer immaturity. Even as they lead the military, you would think that they would try to man up. No, they're immature. The military officers are immature these days. You look at the FBI, they're clowns. The CIA, they're clowns. And from what I gather, that's the case with all the nations in the world. And there's a reason why Uncle Sam is compared to a goat to the Baphomet, right? Because they like to scapegoat America to a certain degree. But it's all the nations, they're acting like clowns and fools and fanatics. And none of them have the heart to admit that Christ is back, that I'm here in California. They're just not very serious people. They're very evil people.